So today's topic is like defect life cycle or bug life cycle. So we are going to discuss what is the life cycle of a bug whenever we have some set of defects which are identified as part of our testing. Okay. So yeah, let's get started. So here you can see that we have different phases when we have once the defect is locked and so there we have to take care of that defect and until it is fixed, so we have to follow with the team and as well as like when we look into this agile methodology in Scrum process, there are a lot of strategies that we are going to use for identifying what is the phases that we have to undergo as part of the defect. Okay, so it is coming as part of traditional and it is like evolving more in terms of like agile methodologies. When we are looking at this agile methodology, so we are going to consider defect as like item or product back item or sometimes it is requirement or sometimes it is kind of a general fix. Okay, so we'll see what are those things in general. So in software development process, the defect or bug has its own bug life cycle. The bug or defect should go through the life cycle. So which to attend the different stages that we have. So if any bug is fixed, then we are going to test it in various phases of life cycle. Okay. So it's kind of like we have some bug which is like which is not working as expected. Let us take a feature. We have the feature and in the testing we found that it's not working as expected as per the test cases that we have written. So to conclude it, so there are different phases, and during these phases, we have to analyze like what is the stage of this bug and what are the steps that we have to take to accomplish this particular fix or to just go through the stages of it. Okay. So what are the different stages that we have here? Is like new, open, assign, test, verified, deferred, reopen, duplicate, reject, and closed. Okay. So this test is nothing but it's a retesting of the step that whatever we have used for reproducing the issue. Okay. So here you can see this is the simple diagram of it. So we can see the different stages that we have here, how it is flowing. First is like when we find the defect, then it is like new. Then confirmation is like open. Then we are going to assign it to the developer. Then after we are going to retest it. During this assignment, if that defect is like kind of, it's not a defect. Let us take like, it's not reproducible. Okay, consistently, if it is not reproducible. In that case, what we see is like we are going to reject it. Okay, so and other thing is like deferred is like it will take some time to fix it, but not now. We'll be releasing it in the next releases. So in that case, we are going to do the deferred. Like we are going to move that stage from assign to a deferred. Next is like assignment is done and fixing is done. Okay. So there is another stage that is like virtually hidden here. So that's nothing but it is fixed. Now after fixing, we have to retest it. If we confirm that it is working, verified and say that it's working fine, then we are going to move it to a verified. Okay. So otherwise what we do is like we are going to reopen it. If it's not working, we are going to reopen it and assign it to the development team. So once it is verified, and verified in the sense now there is a chance of looking into this defect like by the other people. Let us say once we have a team like dev team, and business team. So dev team, what they do is like they are going to fix the issue and they test it their end. And after testing it, they are going to assign it to a QA. So QA is going to test it. Now after QA testing, there could be another chances of like business would be testing it. Okay. So business team, they would be testing it. So what they do is like they are going to close the issue after they verify it. But what we do, we are going to perform test to verified. So this is another stage. So this all depends on like team wise. Okay. So if your team has only a dev team and QA team confirms it is working fine, then we can move directly from test to closed. Okay. If it's not working, then we are going to reopen it and assign back to the developer. Okay. We'll see in detail about each and every stages that we have in bug lifecycle. So new is like when the bug is posted for the first time, its state will be new. This means that the bug is not yet approved and assigned. Okay. So this is kind of like we are just assuming ourselves like this is a bug and we need to get confirmation by the team during the discussions are with the team lead. Okay. So we are going to discuss with other people and we are going to confirm it. And here you can see this will be moved from new to open. When do we move it from new to open is like after QA engineer or tester has posted a defect, the lead of the tester approves that bug is genuine and he changes the state as open. So generally during these Scrum meetings, we are going to discuss about the defects, and as a tester, what I did is like I just observed something which is not working as expected. So in that case, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to report that issue, and that issue will be taken as part of like a item on the board. Okay. So they will talk about what is Scrum board and all. For now, you just try to connect with the scenarios that I'm talking about, like in real time. So what we do. So we are going to just log this as a item on the board. So this will be like tracked now. Okay. So we can say that what we do when we are trying to add a defect here. So I'll show you what are the things that we consider. So here defect description will be added. So I'll just create a simple defect. Unable to log in into application. Say valid credentials. Okay, so this is what the description. What are the steps? Login into app, HTTPS on www. There, the name, admin, there, password, admin 123. Click on login button. Okay, these are the steps, and what are the expected behavior? Error, return, login. So actual user should be navigated to home page. Okay, so this is what you can see. This is like defect description. What is the defect description? Unable to log in into application using valid credentials. These are the steps, and after that we can see that expected result is like error. What we are getting as part of outcome when we do this action is like expected results. Okay, so expected. So this is sorry. I need to just exchange this. Okay. So I'm sorry for this. Just let me just paste it here. So this is what expected as per the test case. Okay. So user should be navigated to the home page. This is what expected. We are expecting. But actually what is happening is like error return during login. So this is what we are getting as part of our execution. So after this, what we do is like we need to add the screenshot. If we have any screenshot here, if see, this is a screenshot. And we need to add this screenshot. So how do we add it? So here we are going to write a small note saying that please refer to below screenshot, or you can say attachment. Okay, whatever it is like. So now what we do? So just we are going to add it here. Okay. Somewhere it's not getting added here. So let me just. Okay, so this is what now you can see it is a complete description that we have written. So defect description is unable to log into the application using valid credentials. And these are the steps and expected results, actual results, and please refer to the below screen. So it gives a clear idea. Now what is happening here and what we try to do it and what are the steps that we perform, what is expected actual and which test case that we have executed. Okay. So all these details will be given as part of like this can be logged as part of the tools that we are using. Okay. So if you are using Excel sheet or if you are using Jira, if you are using Azure DevOps, so all based on the tools that we are using, we are going to log the defect in that fashion. So open is like, as we discussed, like QA engineer logs in, then what it does is like, he's going to go with the like our team lead. Okay. That's nothing, but he's going to verify whether it's a defect or not. So because we don't want to waste the time of our team when we are discussing about the defects. So again, we don't give a chance to them like, go and verify it again or confirm the bug. Okay. So in that case, what we do is like QA team would be taking care of all the evidences and all the steps that we have to provide as part of defect identification. So assign is like once the lead engineer. So he's like, QA what it does is like QA lead, he's going to discuss with the development team saying that these are the defects that we have found. And development team, what they do is like they are going to allocate these issues to the development team. So the team hold will be sitting as part of the discussions. There, what they do is like they are going to assign this defect to the developer. So who is the developer? He worked on the item, or sometimes it based on the buffer, the time that is available. Okay. So whoever is available, like whoever is free to fix these issues, they are going to take up those issues and they will be assigned. Okay. So they'll be assigned this task and they'll be working on it. So after this assignment is done, there is another phase that we talked about is like fixing the issue. So fixing issues like virtually like, during this assignment, what it does is like he's going to fix the issue. So after fixing it, it will come for the QA. So retesting, as we discussed, like we have to execute same set of steps in different versions of software. Okay. So we are going to execute same set of steps. So what are the steps that we have performed here? You can see. So we have to include the steps now. Okay. So we'll open, let us take this is a new version of software that we got after fixing the issue. So what I'm doing is like I'm just trying to retest that issue. Okay. So what are the steps? I'm just entering this user URL. Then after I'm going to give username, password, valid username, password. Okay, it is working fine. So after we test it, then what we do is like we are going to during closing this, we have a discussion marks. Okay, when we look into this, when we go to a particular application, I'm just going with Jira. I'll show you what can we do here. So we don't have any current site for this. So I'm just going to try with some of the, actually I had a blog, so you can try with that. Otherwise I can. This is already taken. Still. Say contest 1 to 3 is the site that I'm just creating it. I'm selecting each and every part of it. So not to worry for this guys. Actually, we can log in. We can just download the Jira and we can make the setup. So this is not as part of our generic task that we are going to do, because everything will be set up by your internal team in the organization. Okay. For practice, what you can do is like you can just open an account for this Atlassian, like whatever we have did for the Jira. So you can do that. These are the basic things. Okay. So what you can do is like you can search for Jira, a defect tracking tool. So then what you can do is like just you can do the steps that whatever I followed. Okay. So I'm Jira. I'm skipping it here. So name is like. So here you can see this is Kanban, Jira software. What it says, like we have different set of things that we different set of agile methodologies. We have Kanban, lean programming, extreme programming, and then we have Scrum. Scrum. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do is like I'll go to the board. I don't have anything here. So here you can see I'm creating the issue. How do I create an issue? Now you can see what is that we are trying to do. Okay. So I'll go and try to copy it as much as possible here. So whichever things that we have done. Okay. So this we cannot copy it. It is paint. So here I'm going to write the description. Okay. So able to log in into application with valid credentials. Okay, this is the item that I've created. Okay. This project is already created. Your default dashboard, whichever I say. It should be displayed here. Let me just check for this. Login. Application with valid. No, this is for the user actually. Sorry for this. Let me just. Now I got it. Actually, I need to save it. I did not save. Now you can see that item has been created. Okay. So this is like this item is created and you can see these are the things that we have to add. Now, what are the description, general description you can see. So here I'm going to write like unable to create, unable to log in. So unable to log in into application with valid credentials. Okay. So here I'm going to write the steps. Steps like first, open application. So I'm going to write HTTPS. Second, enter your name, admin, and after enter password. Fourth one. These are the steps, okay? On login pattern. So here I'm going to write the expected results. So user should be, what is that expected? We are getting there, right? So error return during login. So actual first. We have to have actual here. Again, this is actual. This is expected. Yes. So user should be logged into application without any error. Okay. So this is what expected and this is what actual and this is what the description. Okay. So you can write the description can say the defect description or something here, or we can see how it is already there in the description. Okay, so I'm just writing it as like a description. So now if you want to attach, we can attach the sheet. So whatever we have saved it here, login failed, I'm going to attach it. So this is the attachment. And what are the comments that you are going to add? It will be added here. Okay. So after this, so I've saved everything. I will just kind of like just added everything. So unassigned, assigned, you can see these are the different things that we have. So here the issue is created. Okay. So when you open it, now developers look into this issue and save changes, have saved it. Now it is kind of like you can see this is like defect that I have added here. It is displayed on the board now. Okay. So when we discuss about this during the meetings, okay. So this is like one issue is unassigned. So you can see all the issues which are like assigned to this particular person will be displayed, or we can have this unassigned, which is showing up here. Okay. So this item is like it is assigned, like we have a link here, which is like particularly available under this particular Srikanth. So this is nothing but this is my board. So that is the reason why it is showing up here. Okay, so if you want to link up with other issues, add some child items. So for example, now what is like, if you have any child issues, we can add it here, or else you can just ignore this. Okay, so it will become cancelled. So assigning it to me. So we are assigning it to me. So now what I'm doing is like, I'm just I can see this issue is assigned to Srikanth. Okay. So I'm the person I will be working on this. So what are this? Now what I'm going to do is like first is like to do task. This is like in the new stage. Okay. So let us consider this, and this is like a new stage that we have. Okay. Another thing is like we can still add this boards. You can here you can write as like first is like I'm going to add it as like to do. After that we have this issue, and if after that assign. See how I'm going to add the stages now. QA test, that is nothing but retest. Okay. So otherwise I'll add it as like retest. Then after reopened, or we can say that reassigned. So here what I'm going to do is like UAT. UAT is nothing but it's kind of like business is looking into that. And after that we have closed. Okay, so now I'm showing it practically. So how this will be working as part of like real-time issues. Okay. I mean like how this real-time would be considered. Okay. So now it is like to-do task. This is nothing but the developer. This is like a newly identified issue, and developer says that okay, in development team are kind of like meetings that we are going to discuss about this issue. So when we just click on it, okay, it will show all the details. Okay, they are going to try it, and okay, so this is like kind of issue which is not working. Okay, so here we have few other things. Can show you like we should have the priority and severity of it, so that we can define here. Yeah, configure. So here I've added a bug now. Okay, so it was showing earlier, it was showing only about like epic bug status, and so I'll discuss about like what is epic, what is task, and what is bug. Okay, I can see. So bug has been created successfully. So what are the things that should be managed as part of like bugs? Okay. Assign label. And here status is what is the status that you want to add, what is the label, and what is the description. What are the columns that should have, okay, what are the fields that should be displayed as part of like this bug. Okay, so now you can see there are like different things which are available here. So I'll just go to this project, whatever I have like project here. So whenever I try to add a new thing here, okay, so create, now you can see create issue. So in this we can see bug. Okay, so we can the permissions depends on the tool that you are using. You can change the flag, you can change the type of it. Okay, so type of this item, actually it can be like item, it can be like a bug, or it can be added as like a task. Okay, so here what I'm going to do is like I'll just try to change it. Otherwise we can go with the generic flow first, and then I'll show you what are the different things that we can do, what that we can do as part of the board. Okay, so now what it is doing is like now we are assigning it to the development team. Like let developer is working on it. Okay, so after this I want to remove this state. Okay, so in progress discussion is happening now. It is like kind of like it is new to open, and after this it is assigned to a development team. So after this development team is done, like what they are going to do is like they are going to move it to a test. Now we are going to test it as part of tester. We are going to test it. So if you find it is working fine, then what we do is like we are going to move it to the UAT. Okay, UAT is like another person, like the business team will be looking into it. Or if it is not working, then what we do is like we are going to reassign this item to the particular development team. So if it is working and UAT confirms it, then what we do is like we are going to move from UAT to the closed. Okay, so this is nothing but the life cycle of the defect. Now you can see it is moving. It started moving from this item. Let us take. We are going to make it as like new. And here we can say open items. See, new open items, assigned, retest, reassign, UAT, and closed. Okay, so here it says like closed. Closed one issue. So likewise, if we have multiple issues, what we do is like here we are going to discuss as part of a board. Okay, so generally during the meetings, what they do is like they are looking into the issues here. Okay, so let us consider this issue, same issue again. We are pushing it back to the stage. Okay, so I'll just open it. Now I can see all the things like whatever happens here. So who is working on this? Or else if you want to tag a few people, they are going to just add the comments here. Okay, so here we are going to add a normal comment saying that this issue is reproduced in version 1.0. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So I have added something here, comment, and this comment is like looked into the person. Like we can tag the people also. Okay, so if you have any people, then we can tag the people with the symbol code at the end. Okay, so when you tag this, so this will be given a notification. The kind of notification will be sent to the person, whoever we tag it. So after this, what we do is like now it is like kind of a defect which is like reproducible. Then we are going into open state. Okay, so this is kind of like the issue is moved from new to open. So we can look into the stages here. You can see open items. Okay, so if it is like if you click on this new item, what it does is like it's going to move to the new item. So when you close it, you can see it is moving back to the new item. So that's nothing but we can move the stages when we open that item also. After that, you can see now I am moving it from new to open. So there's nothing but this is confirmed issue. Okay, by the QA. After this, developer looks into this. Developer says that yes, this is the issue that okay, we are able to reproduce it. So here they are going to write it. Okay. So for example, some dev team. Okay. So dev, please look into the issue. they'll save it. Okay. So now dev one is like this is assigned to the dev done, and here we are going to move it to the assigned. So when I close it, now you can see it is moved to the assigned. Okay. So assigned here, dev what they do is like they are going to say that yes, issue fixed, please retest. So who is going to assign this item will be assigned to the QA team now. Okay. So I'm the person who is working as like QA. So is tagging me. So saved it and now it is closed. So after this, what we are going to do is like as part of retest. So this is assigned to the QA people, right? So it is moved to the retest for retesting. So here I'll say that at dev. So there is no dev team. So let me move to QA team. Okay. So please find below screen as a reference. So here it is working fine, right? So what I'm going to do is like I'm going to take the screenshot of this particular item. Okay. So here I'm going to take the screenshot. It's already captured here. I'm just copying it. Now I'm going to go to this Jira board. Here I'm going to attach it. Okay. So it is like kind of a reference. Okay. So now it is working fine. You can see all these things are tracked here. Say from which stage it is moving and what is happening in the discussions. If somebody looks into this, they will easily identify. Now I'm going to move it to the UAT. Okay. So UAT is like they are going to like business people, they are going to test this and they are going to add the comment here. Okay. What is that comment? So team tagging team saying that, let me say the team issue is fixed and working fine. Okay. So here we are going to add it as like hence moving it to done. Okay. So now what that is like they are going to close it. Okay. So let me just close it. When you open this item, you can see that is moved to the closed. Okay. So we need to save it. I've saved it. So these are the things that will be tracked here. So you can see all these things will be available under this discussion. So who has added this discussion? What is the history of it? Okay. So from where it is moving, all these things will be tracked down in the tool. Okay. So with the help of this tool, we are going to analyze like what is happening in the particular item. So this is not only the item that we are talking about, like this is the item related to the PBS. It can be PBS, it can be Epic, it can be any task or it can be any issues. Okay. So, but we are specifically talking about the bug, how the bug life cycle would be considered as part of like boards. You can see now it is moved from all the stage, like it has flown from new to open to assign to retest, retest to. If it is not working, we are going to reassign or we'll be moving it to UAT. And after UAT is confirming that we are going to close it. Okay. So all these things covered as part of this screenshots, this PPT, you can see. If we have any defects which is duplicate, we can move it to duplicate or we can add it, tag that this item is already logged with the item ID. Okay. So verified is like once we confirm it, like QA team confirms it and we are going to move it from test to the verified. So after verification, UAT, like UAT would be looking into that, they are going to close it. If it is like we reopen, for example, if this is not fixed perfectly, then what it is like we are going to reopen that issue. And again, we are going to reassign that item to the development team. Again, it's kind of like a cycle which will be flowed as part of the life cycle. Okay. So new to open to assign. So then it's like there are two things that we did not discuss about it, rejected. If that is not an issue, then they are going to reject it. Okay. So at the tag end, they are going to reject it. And deferred is like this can be fixed in the future releases. For example, now we don't have time and everybody is occupied with the task, then they are going to move to the deferred state. Okay. So this is all about like defect lifecycle here. And in practical also, we looked into it. How do we exactly log the issue and what are the different things that we are going to consider as part of the issues. Okay. So this is like Jira board. You can see Jira software. But I've created a project. In that project, you can see different things. Okay. So board and roadmaps. Don't worry about this. What is this roadmap and all? So we have different things. It's all based on the product that we have selected. Okay. If you take the Azure, then we have like a lot of things, repos, boards, stories, product backlogs, a lot of tags that we can add. Okay. Yeah. So do you have any doubts, guys, with respect to the defect life cycle? Are you clear with this, guys, or do you want me to explain?
Clear, Shikan.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, yes. Let's go and we'll discuss about the Agile methodology. What is Agile? And what are the different methods that we have in as part of like Agile in detail, okay? So we saw a lot of things like traditional approaches, waterfall, incremental, iterative, and rapid action development and V models. Okay. So, but what makes the Agile more far more feasible is like there are a lot of constraints and we have a lot of like pros and constraints when we consider different approaches. Okay. So which are like traditional approaches, waterfall, iterative, incremental, RAD, V models. Okay. So advantages and disadvantages. So what exactly this Agile methodology is like, group of people, they try to find out a way wherein they can pull out one methodology. In that methodology, we can have a different frameworks and this frameworks fits as per the requirements of the client and as well as the organizations. So client is looking for something like, they give some requirements and this requirement should be fulfilled within a period of time. And I should be like continuously monitoring what exactly this features like how these features are being designed and developed by the team. So in certain cases, what that it is like they came up with the approach called Agile. So in this Agile methodologies, we have different frameworks. With these frameworks will help you to organize your work, and they are going to show like what is the productivity and all. So we here we are going to discuss about the Scrum framework. So before that, we'll discuss about like what is Agile methodology and what are the different frameworks that we have. As part of our course curriculum, we are going to discuss about the Scrum. So Agile is like is an iterative way of managing products and development software that makes it easy for team to deliver value to their customer more quickly and effectively. So generally, when we talk about like Agile is like kind of continuously giving something like, it's like very fast, feasible and continuously delivering something. So it's kind of like an iterative way. So what we do is like we are going to decide what particular feature that we are going to test and test in the sense develop, okay, design, develop and test. So, and how are we going to use the approaches? Okay, how are we going to use the approaches? So here you can see in Agile team is to deliver small but consumable increments of work rather than wagging everything on a big bang launch. Okay, so as we discussed, like big bang is like everything will be delivered at once. Okay, everything will be delivered at once, but there are a lot of challenges in it. So if we have continuous requirement changes, then big bang delivery is not possible. That's nothing, but you cannot deliver everything like make the changes and roll it to the customer. That is like quite tedious and it's like very challenging. But in case of Agile, it's kind of like a incremental work that we are going to do and we are going to deliver as part of the schedules that we are going to define. So Agile methodologies enable organization to deliver value of customer faster with fewer complications by systematic managing. So here what we do is like we are going to maintain this requirements like phases wise we are going to deliver. So first we'll take few requirements. We have 100 requirements. In that 100 requirements, we are going to pick 10 requirements. In the 10 requirements, what we'd say is like, no, this requirements will be delivered in this week. So in this week, in the sense, everybody's working on it. So manager will be working for gathering the requirements, and team will be working like, picking up the requirements and giving the estimations. And in a development team, they'll code it. Testing team, they'll write the test cases, and they are going to get the feedback from the managers after reviewing the test cases. Then once the application is rolled out, like, 2 days will be taken for writing the test cases. In the meanwhile, developer will be developing the application. So 1 day for testing it, and 1 day for us, like, we are going to get the test cases reviewed, and we need to implement those feedbacks, whatever we got from the manager or somebody else who is reviewing your test cases. So in the fourth day, we'll get the application, and developer will be waiting for the, they are waiting for some set of defects which will be reported by the testing team. So on fourth day, testers will be testing it, and fifth day, at the end of the fourth day, we are going to give some defects to the development team, and fifth day we'll be still testing it, and meanwhile developer will be fixing it, and they are going to give it to us in a newer version. So there we are going to conduct the retesting. So likewise, it will be a continuous task for us. So hand in hand. So one guy will be working on development. Yeah. In the meantime, the tester will be writing the test cases. The other person, they are going to develop the UI, and the other person will be the tables in a database. So it's kind of like a continuous task. Okay, continuous task, and everybody is like collaboratively working on it. So as a result of continuously evaluating requirements, plan and result, teams can respond to change in timely manner. So as we see that everybody is working parallelly, continuously, and parallelly. So in that case, you can see that few people, they are going to may have some doubts or clarifications, or they need some changes here and there. So what that is like, they are going to get it very fastly. Like no person will be monitoring it. So what is happening and what they need actually. So it's like kind of feedbacks will be available very fastly, and immediately those will be addressed. So what are agile methodologies, and the most important things that we are going to discuss as part of agile methodology is Scrum, which is part of this agile methodology. Okay. So we'll look into them. What are the different methodologies which are available? So extreme programming. So this is a framework that enables teams to create high quality software that helps improve their quality of life. So here what we do is like one kind of approach here. Okay. So when we take about like, every fruit has, for example, if I'm taking in general terms, every fruit has its own like kind of like, advantages. So like, they are going to provide some set of proteins or vitamins or something. Okay. So, but it's kind of like a timely, it's all depends on like kind of the necessity. Okay. So when you have like summer, so you'd be eating some watermelons because you need more content from the watermelon wherein it's contains some water. So you cannot eat something fruit which is like, if you take out the summer, you cannot eat which are like, heat products. Okay, because you cannot manage that. In case of rainy season, you see that you'll be like, more prone to some set of flus or viruses. For that reason, you may not consume some other fruits. It's kind of like, based on your requirements, we are going to pick up the frameworks. Okay, pick up the frameworks. So extreme programming would require some set of programming, and everybody should have some programming knowledge. And if we are using any tools that are compatible of programming, then we have to go with the extreme programming. So here it says like, software developer development alongside appropriate engineering practices. So there are some set of engineering practices, and they are using some tools wherein they have to have the skills. Then they can go with the extreme programming. So Kanban is like a kind of the framework wherein like, we don't have any defined time. For example, we got some requirements, and this requirement should be completed within 6 months. Okay. So if you are taking Kanban, what happens in case of Kanban is like, we don't have any defined time. We have decided to complete 10 items in 2 weeks. Okay, 10 requirements of 2 weeks. And after hitting 2 weeks, we did not complete 2 more requirements. Like, we have a spillovers, like 8 requirements are completed and 2 requirements are not completed. So then what we do is like, in case of if we are selecting the Kanban, we are going to consider those 2 requirements in next releases. Like, we have decided like we have 10 releases. In the 10 releases, we are going to take 10 items at a time. Okay. So 10 items in one release, 10 items in second release, 10 items in third release. Likewise, we'll be deciding 10 releases like 100 items should be rolled out. But one first release, we have completed only 8 items. And in second release, we have to complete 10 items plus the items which are remained in the first releases. So altogether, we have to complete 12 items in the second release. So this is like Kanban is like a not defined. So here it says like in definition, it's a method that used to design, manage, and improve the flow of systems. Kanban enable organizations to visualize their flow of work and amount of work in progress. It is used in situations where work arrives unpredictably. Okay, that is nothing but we never assume like, okay, these 2 items will be remained in the first releases. But what we have to do is like we have to consider those things also. And where it needs to be deployed immediately without waiting for others' work items. So that's nothing but we are going to consider those items also. So next is like lean. It is set of tools and principles that focuses on identifying, removing waste to speed up process development. So here it is like value is maximized and waste is minimized. So it should be very much tight. It's kind of like very much tight in the sense, if you plan it, we have to execute. Okay, if you plan it, we have to execute, and all these things should be like properly aligned. If it is not aligned, then this approach will not work. Okay, so we cannot use this approach. So lean programming is like one other kind of the approach or a framework that will be used when all the team members are, all the participants or stakeholders are tightly bind in the sense everybody is like sitting together and working on it. Okay, because we don't waste our time. So if you say we are working 8 hours, we have for 8 hours, and 8 hours is like kind of a productivity. So this is little complex when we consider these things with the other frameworks. Next comes is like Scrum. So it is a framework used by the teams to establish a hypothesis, test it, reflect on the experience, and adjust. So it enables teams to incorporate practices from other frameworks, depends on the requirement. So Scrum is like very defined, and it is appreciated by the market. So most of the companies, they are going to use the Scrum because of its agility. Agility in the sense it's flexibility and agility. Agility is like fastly delivering something and taking the risky things and completing them in time. So, and accomplishment and flexibility is like we can change. We can change in the sense if something is not working as expected, we can just go and immediately act on it. Okay, so we'll make some adjustments and then we are going to work on this. So here we have like typically 2 to 4 weeks of iterations. Okay, so 2 to 4 weeks. That's nothing but business days. What we say is like business days. If we say business days, how many business days are in a week? So 5 days are business days. Okay, so we don't consider the weekends. So if you say 2 to 4 weeks in the sense, typically your sprint will last for 15 days. Okay, 15 days is like minimum, and maximum would be of like it can be of 1 month. So here when we talk about Scrum, we'll be talking about sprint and backlogs. Okay, so sprint is like kind of a time that will take to complete one iteration. Okay, one iterations. So iteration in the sense, one round of complete, like if you take some 10 requirements. So this 10 requirements should be completed in first sprint. That's nothing but sprint 1 will complete this 10 requirements. So it will take one iteration. One iteration is like 2 to 4 weeks. So 2 to 4 weeks in the sense we have to consider number of days, number of business days. 15 days or 30 days. Okay, Crystal is another framework. So it focuses on this interactions rather than on tools and processes, aim to streamline. So we don't have any kind of codes that will be used. Here we say that, okay, today I'm working on this. Today I'm working on this. So this is the task that I'm going to complete. And these are the things that I'm completing. Like, so it's kind of like we don't have any defined process yet. So mostly it's kind of like a discussion based on interactions. And this will be executed when everybody is like strongly they have like good strength in communicating with the people. Okay, so it's not kind of like we don't use anything, but it's kind of like orally communications, and communications will be done based on the requirements, and everybody should be like good at communicating each and everything, every aspect of the application development. If they are not good, or if they are lacking some communication here, so then that could be a challenge for this, and they cannot manage with the Crystal. Okay, so these are the 5 frameworks that we have as part of agile methodologies. Still, there are other things, but these are the important that we are going to follow. And most of the times, companies will follow Kanban or Scrum. Okay, I worked in both Kanban and Scrum. Scrum is like, we have a defined period of time, but Kanban is like we have some spillovers. Spillovers are nothing but leftover. Leftover work will be carried in the next releases. So we don't have any escalations here in case of Kanban, because Kanban is like undefined. Okay. But Scrum is like defined. So here we have escalations. So they are going to ask you like, why didn't you complete this task in given period of time? What are the challenges? What are the hurdles? Did you speak to someone? So if you did not speak it, they are going to ask like why. All this why, how questions will be there. Okay, why, how, what, where. So these questions will be more in Scrum. Yes, are you clear with this?
Yeah, it's Srikanth.
So next part of the things that we have is like what are the agile principles? So to make it like more flexible, and why do we need this actually? So all these things are discussed here. So to make a process agile, the following principle need to be satisfied. The customer satisfaction. First is like customer satisfaction. The customer needs to be satisfied with the quick delivery of the product. So if, for example, you take an example, like you have given something requirement, some requirements to some person, but that person is coming to you every day and is showing some progress. That's the point. We are working on this. We are working on this. We are working on this. Is what we have delivered. You can see this is what the output. So you feel happy about it, right? Because we are like satisfied with that. So whatever before you ask for something, they are coming and delivering it. So that's not but customer satisfaction. So you'll be happy for that. Okay. So next is like welcome changes. So on daily basis, if you are doing something and if you need something to be implemented or if you something to be here, so what you do is like you are going to provide the changes. So that's nothing but we are going to welcome the changes. So welcome changes in the sense, if something is unpredictable, those can be addressed here. So delivery frequently. So you can see that every day or everything, like no, they have some defined period of time, they are going to deliver it. They say that, okay, the next week we are going to demo this. So that's nothing but it's a fast delivery. And we have a frequent deliverance here. And working together. So developer, everybody like developer, UI designer, database administrator, project manager, testers, everybody will be working together. And business will be continuously monitoring the work. Team motivated. Like here you can see, team will be motivated because we are going to frequently follow up with the team, and there we are going to give some feedbacks, and we are going to understand what are the hurdles, and like everybody will be helping us. In this case, what we do is like we can trust the team and we have motivated, like all the motivated people will be working together to achieve a goal. So face to face is like kind of we have a daily meetings. So it's not kind of like people will be meeting once in a while, but it's kind of like a daily. We are going to communicate with the people, and we are going to have a communication. Like face to face communication is nothing but we are going to conduct the meetings frequently to understand the requirements or changes or any set of interactions that we want to do as part of our project. So working software, it's kind of like day one, we are going to see the working software. It's not kind of like in a waterfall. We have to gather the requirement, analyze the requirement, design it, develop it, then test it, then see the software. It's not like that. It's kind of like working software. From day one, we are going to see that there is a software which is designed here, and we can use it for our business requirements. So constant pace is like kind of like everybody, like it's kind of like a teamwork that we are going to do. So constantly everybody should have like good skills and they'll be working on a similar goal. So it promotes like sustainable development. It's kind of like we are going to constantly deliver something and constantly take the feedback and work on it. So it's kind of like consistently we are moving. So good design here because everybody is involved in, and most of the times what we see is like we are get to have this good designs, and architects will be like very competitive. So they'll be focusing on good design, and frequent feedbacks will help us to design the application properly. Simplicity, it's like only we spend time to work. Okay, so it's not kind of like any kind of a discussions that we are going to do apart from this. So it's continuously we'll be working on a similar task and we'll see the simplicity in it. Okay, so we spend most of our time in like developing the application and delivering the application consistently. Self-organized, because here we have taken the task. This is like every task that we have taken is like responsible. We are responsible for delivering it. Okay. So if you take like, we have to test the login page. So you are responsible for that from end to end. Like You'll be writing test cases. You'll be talking to the people. You'll be following up on the defects. You'll be working on the fixes. You'll be creating the regression suites. Like everything is like responsible. You will feel responsible about it. So it's kind of like self-organization. So reflect and adjust is like if you have anything that needs to be changed, or if you want to adjust something, or if you want to give the feedback from your end, so you can do it. That's nothing but the effectiveness of the team can be improved by regularly reflecting on their work and making improvements. Okay, to provide something kind of like if you want to provide some feedback, your suggestions or any advices that you want to give, you can give it to the team. So these are the principles, guys. Actually, just you need to understand how this agile methodology would be working on these principles. Okay, so just it's kind of like vague. You should have some idea about it in your mind when we talk about the agile, why the agile is like in market, and why most of the people they are migrating to the agile methodologies. So when we consider key agile concepts, we have different agile concepts here. So we'll be discussing it tomorrow. Okay. So I'll discuss about like what are user stories, daily meetings, teams, and incremental development, iterative development, milestone perspective. So these are the different key terms that we have to follow. We have to remember. So when we are talking about like agile methodologies. So after this, we have how does agile works? So define, create, plan, execute, and review, retrospective, repeat, continuous improvement. So after that, we'll be discussing about like what is Scrum and what are the different what are the different people and what is the essence of using the Scrum and who are the stakeholders of the Scrum that we are going to discuss tomorrow. So tomorrow would be the last class for manual testing, guys. So we'll be picking up this information from day after tomorrow. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me, guys?
No.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks for your time, guys. Let's meet tomorrow. Same time.
Thank you, Srikanth.
Thank you.